Welcome to
Rock the
Around.
crown.
We are so excited. Season 3, of course, we are in our final episode, episode 16. And what we're doing today is we're coming to you with some Eid Rock the Crown style ideas and tips. So today, what we're going to be talking about is home decor ideas, good food for Eid, fashion tips. Of course, we love to do that. And then some gift giving ideas. And so, what we're going to do first, we're going to kick it off with some home decor. We all like to kind of, make our house even more special than it is, during the other parts of the year. And so, in doing this, just kind of making your home a little bit more serene, more peaceful, kind of a solid space for you. We know when Ramadan comes around, we like to just kind of drop all of those other things, negative feelings and get all, clear out the clutter, so to speak. Some of us get to organizing, kind of like that spring cleaning feel. And then just kind of redecorating. And so, even for me personally, I was really excited this year about just getting things going. And you all who really know me well, I'm very a creative person, and so I took it to another level.
To
uh
another level.
yeah, yeah. And you don't have to throw out your old stuff or buy a whole lot of new stuff. So what I did was just kind of refurbish some of my old pieces that I've been wanting to get to for a long time. So I found myself painting my dining room table, my chairs, remaking cushions, and just kind of resetting my prayer room area, creating your prayer room and all. Not your prayer room, but your peace corner. That's really a good thing to have. So some of the ideas that you can do, not just for yourself, but your family, and so I talked about me and my peace corner. It really started with my 7-year-old last year with his school. They talked about having a peace corner. So we created this thing using tablecloths. And this year we did a little something a little bit different. He can go in his little hut. But this year what I did was I actually purchased a little mini tent for him. And so we've got that up in the dining room. And so he has his space and he's got his Quran books. He's got a few little toys. He's got his flashlight and his light up blanket. And, when you just need to have a moment, you can send them to their space too, so they can have a moment.
Right, right.
And so what we're going to do is kind of talk about some of those things that you can do just to create that space. I think one of the things I want to share right now too is, I've been tuning in to Study Al Islam. They come on every day. And Sister Quran, she spoke on why decorating is important during this time, and that's one of the things we have to really think about, because we see what time of year it is for all of the other special occasions that we don't necessarily celebrate. So, when Ramadan comes around, when Eid comes around, and we know Eid comes twice a year, we have to make it special for ourselves, for our families, for our children, especially so that they know, you have the best of the best. And we know that, this is a great time. And so we have to make sure that we're displaying that, and so we can do things, putting up Ramadan lights, of course, whether you find a place in your home, a corner in your home. Some people may use the fireplace, or you may have like the special corner area. You may put some display on the table. A lot of us, we use lights, the moons and the stars, the lanterns, that's kind of like that thing. Naima's got stars behind her now, but that's her all year round thing. She likes to
Right,
sparkle.
Right.
And it actually
right.
picks up.
And
So,
another thing, Neff, too, that I just wanted to mention is that for us to just generally tell people, because some people may not be familiar with Eid, and just to let those who may be in our audience who are not familiar, maybe you're a new Muslim and you just don't know, or maybe you're not, Muslim at all, but you still like some of our things. But basically what happens is, we fast during Ramadan, for 30 days, and then at the end of that we basically have a 3-day celebration, and that's what is referred to as Eid. We go all out during those 3 days with decorations, with all kind of delicious food. We have the best of fashions. We give a lot of gifts. So that's basically what we're talking about here today is we're just talking about some tips and different ways that you can celebrate it. But that's usually what happens at the end of fasting. For those 30 days, we have a 3-day celebration. And usually the first day is the largest and biggest day of the celebration. And it's just called Eid. So that's what we're talking about here today. And so maybe you can get some little tips, learn a little bit, and take something from what we're talking about.
Thanks, Nafisa. Just to mention those, our holiday, a lot of people don't necessarily know. And like you said, it definitely is a time to be able to do that DIY, to be able to teach. And as you were talking, it reminded me, I had a client come to my home. I was doing some alterations for her. And she was like, when she came in, I've got a little bit of stuff up right now, but I kind of want to build my way up as we get closer to Eid. And so I've got the Ramadan Mubarak up, and she saw a few other things. And she was like, because I know about Ramadan, and I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know how special this time is. And so, a lot of people do know about, just our holiday as far as Eid, and it's just this special time as we go through this month. But many don't. So thank you for sharing that. And so one other thing I want to mention as far as home decor is getting your children involved with just doing like crafts. For my son, one of the projects that he was working on was the 99 attributes. And then just, making drawings, adding some sparkle and some glitter and some color or some paint or, whatever medium it is that you want to use. And you can hang those things up, and that kind of just brings them to life, when they just bubbly, just popping all around. So, and actually the same feeling that children get, we adults get that same thing when you see that, so just kind of creating that. So Naima, let me know, what is it that you did for your Eid or Ramadan decorations leading up to Eid?
So my Ramadan decorations this year, actually, I created a wreath. So my front door has a Ramadan Mubarak wreath. Hopefully, you all will be able to see it on the screen. All these beautiful colors that I like so much that are they're a little bit more subtle, but it's kind of like spring going into summer. And so with the wreath, basically it welcomes people. You coming in, hey, you're coming into a home that is Ramadan Mubarak. And I'm going to take that same wreath, take Ramadan Mubarak on it, and I'm going to add Eid onto it. And it's going to be my Eid Mubarak, okay? Eid Mubarak wreath as well. And then something else that I love to do during this is the first time I've actually done a full set table for Ramadan. So I of course put a tablecloth out, put chargers out. I have a table runner, which normally is on there, but it looks a little bit different when you have it actually on top of a tablecloth. Actually have these small little mini lanterns that are on the table that have lights, as well as just our nice dinner plates. And so the first day that I actually decorated the whole table, I mean, it's very formal, okay? Because all of my children are older. They're all, 20 and up. And so my husband was like, can we eat on this? And I was like, yeah, it's Ramadan. Like, it's okay to be glammed up and, have all of these beautiful things on your table and just be having the experience. So every day, what we do is we just actually put our plate on top of the plates that are already there on our table, but also making sure that centerpieces are there. And so for Eid, I'll be having this particular centerpiece grace my table.
Nice, nice.
So
I
I
need
did
to get
this.
that.
I got this on Amazon. It was only
Okay.
99, but of course it has lights, and so you can turn it on and off. But I'm so excited because I have about 3 of these. Another one is a Quran version. And this actually, you can have it for Ramadan and it'll go straight into Eid. So I love making sure that we have centerpieces that are going to be, highlighting the table. And then the last element that I'm going to be adding to my table this year is a blurish floral design. So, Darina, get ready, girl, because I'm going to be calling you to get my floral design for my Eid celebration coming up.
Wow, great. And this is I love the decorating. I traditionally don't haven't done as much during Ramadan in terms of decorating. Most of my decorating I usually do for the Eid, and it's different now, of course, because I have two grown children, and then I only have one. I have a teenager at home, so I enjoyed it so much when they were younger, making it all festive, and I would have lollipops and different candy coming from the ceiling, hanging down, and so those are some kind of good things you could do with young children because they just so excited. Oh, I get a chance to get a lollipop, because I didn't really give my children candy that much, so it was a big deal to have that kind of stuff hanging from the ceiling when they were younger. But now what I do, of course, since they're older, I like to do the tablescape too. Mine is probably less formal and more kind of like celebratory, just because that's fun, because that's kind of like my personality. So it's not as formal, but I still have, the real nice dish set. I have the real nice dish set, and it's always I like to have like a little African flair in there. This is because that's my personality, a little African flair on there. And a lot of things that I do in terms of the decorating. I mean, of course, I have the real nice dishes, but and then the placemats on there, I kind of change those a little bit each year. But one thing I got is I went to the dollar store and I got like the festive confetti, and just like in different colors that I wanted to have, and just kind of put that on different places on the table to make it more, festive. And then even the napkin rolls and things like that, just to kind of make it a little bit more festive and fun. And just generally with the designs that you choose in the dishes and in the placemats can kind of change what type of mood that you're trying to create. So that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. It's not that expensive. You can kind of use those fine dining dishes that we don't even pull out that often. We may only pull them out once or twice a year anyway. And then you can kind of, even though it might be the same dishes that you use, you can kind of change it with all different placemats, and a different color palette that you might use from year to year might change just a little bit, so that you're not always buying totally new stuff, but you're not always using the same old stuff that you have. So that's kind of one things that I do. And then I decorate, of course, like with the balloons and the streamers, so people walk in, they know, oh, something's happening here, something special is going on. So that's what generally for that I do. But I might this year, I might have to call Dorito on those flowers, because I think I might want some fresh flower bouquet, or vase, or some type of arrangement. I might do that this year. That might be the thing that I do that's a little bit different. Yeah, I might have to do that this year also, Naima.
Yeah, that's gonna be super.
Flowers always bring you a little more joy, make you a
And
little more bubbly.
something else I wanted to talk about Nafisa was talking about napkins. I do have napkins coming. I used to work at a retirement home, so I learned how to make all kind of formal napkin centerpieces that are going to go actually on the plate. So I'll be doing formal napkins in the way of like swans and fans and
Wow.
candlesticks. And so I'm going to be sharing those pictures with you all probably on our Facebook page on the day of Eid, inshallah. And then you'll be able to see, oh wow, this is so interesting in terms of like being able to use napkins also to decorate your table. And a last tip I want to give is that, don't wait until the last minute to start gathering decorations. You can gather decorations actually the entire year, and especially because there's so many other holidays that we don't necessarily celebrate, but there's always specials. And when you have specials, that we should be racking up on their specials after those other holidays that come throughout the year.
Yeah.
Right, right. Well, I cannot wait to see your stuff. I've been enjoying seeing different people post on Facebook too, just different things in it, because we're not really around each other as much right now. And so just showing like, just keeping the spirit. And it's like, okay, I got this. So just wait for Eid. It's like we're not gonna be really around each other so much, but you're gonna be seeing the runway happening. So let's talk about some food right now. Let's get to the good food for Eid. Okay, let's talk about some good food. One of the things I did yesterday was I went and got some fruit and some yogurt, and I put together this parfait. Now I really wasn't thinking about it, but then I was like, wow, this would be really something good and fun. You got all these colors, all these different tastes, and you get to eat something sweet without it necessarily being sweet, sweet, just that naturally sweet fruit that, comes from the ground, and make it really pretty. So this is one of the things that I think would be a good idea for it, and it'll be hot outside. So just kind of eating light, or having some nice finger foods versus I know sometimes we get real heavy with it sometimes with the food, but it just kind of depends. So that's one of the things that I think would really be good. And so, you can do like other little finger foods, whether it's, if you want some meat, you can do some meatballs or some chicken wings or something, but, make some little tuna salad, put it on some crackers, um, a little salad or whatnot. Y'all know I love salad. So,
That $100 salad.
right.
You don't know nothing about that, okay?
Right. So, but I would say that parfait, I made one last night and I did it so that I wouldn't have to do it for this morning. I was going to have it for sahur. And I stayed up so late working on some stuff. I went on and ate it last night. It was really good. So, and it would be a really good idea if you put it in a clear container, a glass, so that you could see every level, and put all your little stuff in it. But I just used strawberries and blueberries last night with some strawberry yogurt. And I did top it off with just a little dash of whipped cream and another strawberry, just to make it all cute. But you can also add like pineapples to it. You can add some bananas, whatever it is, you can put some oats. Oh, I did add some granola too. So I ate it with granola. I didn't put the granola all the way in it. I just kind of sprinkled granola as I started eating it because I like my granola to stay crunchy. I'm a texture eater. So yeah, you can do that. And it's just really refreshing. So, and it's one of those things that you can eat like right after the prayer, because we like to have our breakfast right after the Eid prayer. And you don't have to, things don't have to be too heavy, waiting on that sausage to get done and whatever. So,
And Nafisa has a great parfait also.
Yeah,
yeah, because I thought
yeah.
about you, Nafisa. I thought about you from our back in January when you hooked us
Oh
up.
yeah. Yeah, that parfait. And actually, last Eid when I did a brunch for my son's last Eid, that's when I did the whole parfait thing that I came up with.
Uh-uh.
And what I use too is I try to stay away from dairy. So of course I use either the coconut. You can either if you like the whole yogurt texture, you can always use soy yogurt. They have an almond milk yogurt. They even have like a coconut yogurt. Or you can use if you like something a little bit lighter. I like to use that coconut whipped cream, instead of using like the Cool whipped cream that everybody uses. They have a coconut whipped cream that you get from the same refrigerated section, and you can use that as well. So that's kind of like what I like to use. And another tip too is that Nefertari spoke about, the clear glasses so you can kind of see through them. You can get those from the dollar store, right? Because that's where I got mine from. The little, if you don't already have the clear ones, you can get them from the dollar store real cheap. They come in packages, and they just add that nice little touch to it. It looks nice. And then you can put whatever fruit that you have on there. You can put I usually put the granola on the bottom, but instead of granola, you also can use crushed graham crackers. That's another thing you can use if you want to sprinkle that on top, so they don't get as soft or whatever. That's something. But yeah, I love that. I'll be doing that this year too.
Nafisa, I think another thing people use is like oats, or even if they want to like put all their stuff together and create a smoothie, that can be that other texture. You have a smoothie and then have your fruit cut up. That was the other thing I
Right.
mentioned. So hearing you, but yeah, I really love yours. I was excited about that. Look, that's one of the things make you feel like that little inner child in you comes out.
Right. Just so excited to be able to eat something during
Right.
the day. And again, Nefertari, I love that tip that you talked about where it says that, it's light. So it being able to be something that is light as people are eating that. So yeah, that's something great. Mhm.
You know what? Another food thing that I usually do too. Of course I do the parfaits or whatever, but and actually is that I do an apple pie. I do a homemade apple pie. I only make it a couple times a year for special occasions, and And the Eid is one of the times I do the homemade apple pie, and I like the crumb cake with the crumb topping on top. Oh my God. I love it. My family loves that apple pie. And that's generally I usually make it usually about at least four of them because
Yeah,
one
I'm
of my
gonna have to get some of that, Nafisa. I'm gonna have to get some of that.
yes that apple pie.
Well,
So
we,
that's one thing that
yeah,
I
we
make
can
every year. Yes,
we
I
can
make that
all break it up into fours and get our own section.
yes, yes. So that's something too to think about. We always think about the food and stuff like that to serve and eat, but there's little special desserts that may be a little bit more labor intensive that you don't necessarily do, all year round that people kind of look forward to every year. That's something too that you might want to add to your eat food list.
So, Nafisa, do you have anything that you might want to share about your apple pie? What makes it special? What kind of ingredients you put in there that might be a little different?
One thing I think I use apple juice, like the natural apple juice, just a little bit of apple juice and add that with, the brown sugar or whatever to the mix. But it's just a traditional ingredient. So I think just that and it's just a little mix of it. It's not like a
With a
secret
little,
ingredient or
with a
whatever.
little love, with a little love.
Yes, yes. And I think that kind of makes it a little, I don't know, but it just adds a little something to it. So that's something I use that the natural apple juice that you get from the refrigerated section to make it. So yeah, that's something I put in mine.
And it's good, honey. And I want my piece. Okay, that part.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that I do for special food recipes, and not just for Eid, but just period, of course, is my infamous kale salad, which has been known to rival the Tassili's salad. So I actually a long time ago went to Tassili's, had a kale wrap, and was like, man, I need to get these ingredients. And I was actually with another one of my friends, and she was like, well, girl, they have the recipe online. I was like, what? So I actually went online, got the recipe, got the ingredients, and just really started making it. And when I tell you, every time I make it for people, I'm like, oh yeah, this is Tassili's recipe. And they were like, no, it's not. This is better than Tassili's. So I do appreciate that aspect of it. But
I can say amen to that. Amen, whatever. Her kale, it
right.
can't be touched. I ain't tasting nobody's is better than that. I'm sorry.
So, so we had a little thing back in January, and somebody requested the kale. I believe that was you, Nafisa.
Yes.
She thought it was just all for her. She's
That
like, okay, I give y'all a little bit. But I thought it was gonna last through the weekend. We was scraping the pot, like scraping the bowl, like, wait a minute,
the
what
same day.
Yes.
The same day. That was funny.
Yes. Excellent.
But yeah, so the kale salad, super basic: kale, onions, uh tomatoes,
avocado?
deep-fried tomatoes, avocado, a couple of seasonings, salt, pepper,
Yeah.
garlic powder. If you'd like some cayenne pepper to take it up a notch, always is good, as well as nutritional yeast, which of course is one of the main ingredients, and definitely need some veggie veggie bites, which is basically like, traditionally, some people, you can use bacon bits as well. Bacon bits actually are made out of soy. They're fake bacon, but it's made out of soy. And I don't know if a lot of people have ever known that. They probably thought there are some bacon bits that are real bacon, but bacon bits, I mean, yeah, they're made out of soy. So if you wanted to use that, you can also do that and just kind of mix it with some olive oil. And again, it's really about texture, making sure you know the right amounts of everything for it to look a certain way. Yeah.
And so just pile it all on top, put everything in there. And then this is what Naima do. Take your hands, you can put some gloves on, and then just mix it all in there together.
Right. That part.
So it can be evenly distributed.
Evenly distributed. I love that.
So yeah, it's pretty good. And actually, it starts smelling good. You don't even cook nothing, and it smells good. It's like, what is that? So
Right. And then
I've made some.
I like to you put those in wraps. So, we can eat it as a salad, but if you really want to have a wrap with it, that's also making it easy and light as well.
Mhm.
So I just had a thought, Naima. So for people who can't really eat kale, for some people who maybe have blood thinning issues, what do you recommend to use if they can't eat kale?
Mustard greens, any greens. So as Black people, I know that everyone's used to maybe not, eating greens cooked.
Mhm.
But I would recommend that you try mustard greens and collard greens. And the best way to do that is to get those specific greens and to roll them up. So you're going to roll them up like cylinders and then slice it. So basically, what it's doing is creating a julienne cut. And then if you wanted to cut it going across as well, that way it's more like squares. And it's a little bit easier in terms of like being able to chew it, because no one wants a long piece of mustard green or collard greens. But eating fresh greens are awesome. So you can also use those as a salad preference.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And so we are going to move on to our fashion tip for the day. For the day of Eid. For the first day of Eid, that's when we all get glammed up, right? So this is a time where every girl, every woman really just wants to feel special. You want to look fabulous. You want to have we get to see each other with all these beautiful fabrics and prints and colors and different design ideas, variations of styles. And even when we come together, for our community, I would say is, more so African Americans. But even though we get to see like a mixture of the world, really, because everybody's kind of got their own style, their own flavor. And a lot of times it's inspired from one place or another. And like Nafisa mentioned earlier about she liked to have that African print and put that little touch to it. We'll see some of that, or we may see more of a Moroccan style or Indonesia or something with a little sparkle, or we might just be bringing our African flair. But we all have like a different mixture of styles, and that's what I meant by earlier when I say just that runway show. So we definitely want to give you some good advice. I know a lot of us already have it. So wondering, just some of us I know don't necessarily have that. So you're kind of probably wondering, how do I actually get started, right? You're asking yourself, like, what do I choose first? And so one of the things I would say, like for me, sometimes even when it comes to designing, I may not necessarily have the design in mind, but I may find this particular fabric and then it's like, oh wow, that fabric itself is the inspiration. So you might just have a scarf, or you might have these earrings and a necklace. And it may be that staple piece for you that's like, okay, I've got to find something to go with this. And so what we're going to talk about today is just giving you a little bit of tips on that, but sometimes also looking at your budget as well, because we know when it's Eid, we like to just go get us something new. But I could say for, the past few years, I have gone back into my closet to see what is it that I have. And sometimes I may just need, okay, well, I need a shoe to go with this, or I really need this color scarf to make this work. And so just, making sure you're kind of looking at your budget. You don't want to go broke trying to be beautiful for a day, and just buying an affordable
But
product too.
the women are known to go broke looking beautiful for a day,
Right.
wedding days and things like that.
Yeah. So you just want to buy actually what it is that you need. And so it's good to kind of like just go and take a little inventory of your closet, and just mix and match some things, old outfits with something new. So I think that's a good start. That's a good starting place, look and see what it is you got. And then it's like, okay, what do I want to do from there? Now I know I saw an outfit with Sister Benta. We know Sister Benta is close by Atlanta Mass, right in the same parking lot with the Atlanta Masjid.
Right.
Beautiful outfits. I know I don't need it. I know I don't need it, but I was like, ooh, I gotta have it. And it's blue, like this blue shirt. This is one of my favorite colors. So I love
Yeah,
blues,
that
purples, and
electric
green.
blue.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love blue.
So Naima, mix and matching. What you got to say about that?
Well, you said it, mixing and matching. So my tip is, of course, when when Eid starts coming, I think that women start getting this itch, right? And that the itch is that you really want to look beautiful. So, in order to look beautiful, you feel like you have to have new stuff, right? So, what women will do is start going online. You'll start seeing it's only $29.99. It's only $40. I can wear it again. But what happens is we end up purchasing a dress and we've worn it one time. So, this Eid, I'm asking and suggesting to everyone to go deep into those closets.
That must have been real good.
Exactly.
Well,
But
since it's coming down, listen, because we're talking about design. I think this is the perfect time.
Okay.
right.
This is a necklace that Naima's wearing. And
Yeah.
so this is an example of you don't necessarily have to wear it here. And a lot of times we may not be able to wear it here depending on how it's made. So this is another option. Put it on your head.
Let's check it.
Right. But here's a lesson in today. Make sure you reinforce it. Right? Reinforce whatever jewelry that you have, because I'm the type of person too, when I put on jewelry or when I put my whole outfit together, I don't want to have to deal with it again, right?
Yeah.
So
And
I don't like stuff where I gotta deal with a whole bunch of stuff again. So I like to put it on in this set. So just make sure whatever you do is reinforced so you don't have to keep messing with it.
Yeah, because right now this is not pinned. And this is what happens when you don't pin it. But of course, yes, this is a necklace. So, blessings on top of blessings. But again, asking everybody to go into their closet, grab something, just look at two, even not necessarily coordinating outfits. You'll be amazed at how something beautiful can come about with an outfit that you probably never thought about putting together. I don't know what nepotery. Okay, anyway. So yeah, just go into those closets. So I'm gonna try my best this year to not purchase anything. I actually have some outfits that I purchased for Eid and never have worn them. So God help me, I'm going to try my best to pull those together. And one of them is a beautiful, beautiful outfit from one of my most beloved designers this year. So I'll be actually combining two designers' outfits together to make my Eid look for 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned designers, Naima, because that's another thing. I want to be able to just we want to be able to support our own, as we do our shopping. And of course, me as a fashion designer, I have got some calls from people wanting to have some things that, at the end where the timing probably didn't quite work out right. So like Naima mentioned about, pulling your decor pieces together, this and that, so, start a little bit earlier. And then sometimes just having an inventory would be good for some people, but let's support our own, Black owned businesses as well. And, just whomever and wherever. So we definitely want to do that.
Yeah, and on the fashion piece too, I would just encourage people to, because I would just encourage people to maybe either have a theme or like you mentioned, like a particular fabric and you kind of do your outfit around that, a certain inspiration. Pick a certain theme if you think about, like, oh, like I know this year I'm feeling my African heritage this year. So I know my outfit. I haven't got it all pulled together, but I know I got some African jewelry that I haven't worn. So I know I'm probably gonna that's gonna be my inspiration, right, for my outfit. And I'm gonna go shopping in my closet. So I'm not
Well,
buying.
I know for sure you got some good stuff. I like that when we did that headpiece with the African fabric
Oh,
and the necklace
Man,
and
that was
put
gorgeous.
all those pieces together. So we got let's show that one.
right. And last year, what I did too, because you got to consider too that last year we did not have the whole community celebration that everybody just celebrated in their homes because of COVID. And this year we're kind of doing the same thing, but we still wanted to dress up and still make it festive, even though we were doing it in our homes. But last year,
honey.
huh?
I saw you at the drive by. Came through looking like a queen.
Right, right.
Mm.
And last year I had my inspiration last year. I don't know why, but I really wanted to have like this gold piece like across. I wanted to wear like I think you might call it like Egyptian or Persian style, you
Yeah.
know, when you wear the jewel pieces across your forehead. So that was my inspiration. Like I had been thinking about that for months. Like I don't know what I'm gonna wear, but I know I want to wear this particular headpiece. So well, I actually didn't buy anything new. I went shopping in my closet, you know, for those stuff that's like way back there that you ain't thought about, and you know who knows how long. I just went shopping in my closet and I found some things. So that's what I'm gonna do this year. I know it's gonna be African inspired, but you know, just for those of you at home that may not feel as confident when it comes to fashion and putting together outfits, just kind of just think of it as, you know, you're expressing you, right? And you might want to push that just a little bit to the limit and then go big with it and pick maybe a certain piece, you know, whether it's a scarf or a piece of jewelry or even a certain color. You're like, oh, I really want to wear this color this year. You know, how can I incorporate that color or whatever? So that's what that would be my tip. Yeah, but this year I'm going African inspired. I don't know what yet, but yeah.
You know, you said one thing that made me think about something. You know how we do the id swap or the scarf swap, or people bring clothes that they don't wear and other people can get it. I know we're not coming together like that, but maybe looking in your closet and seeing what it is. Like you said, go way back in that closet and see, but maybe we might be able to find some things in our closet that we may be able to give to someone else to help them during this time, you know, and make them feel special, make them feel beautiful. So we definitely would encourage that.
Right. Or
Mm-hmm.
just swap it out. Like, hey, you know, this dress from 3 years ago, I wore it. Do you want to wear it this year? Things like that.
Right.
Because
Because
even
it's
though
almost
it's
like a
the
wedding
same
dress. You don't
dress,
want to wear the same.
yeah, it's the same dress, but it'll look totally different because, you know, everybody has their own flair. And
Mhm.
so how you wore it, the same, another person is not going to look the same in it. So I also encourage that as well.
Mhm. Okay, let's get on to the last thing. Our last tip for today, something we really get excited about, especially for the children, is gift giving. So, we're going to talk about some gift giving ideas. I know for me and my family, you know, my family is kind of like a medium size, I guess. You know, I guess if my mom says, she'll probably think she'll say large. I think there's about 20 grandkids. So, but it's five of us as far as siblings living. And one of the things that I wanted to do this year, and I know a lot of families will do this, is that we actually draw names so that we can give gifts to each other. And so we hadn't really done that. And so that was one of the things that I recommended for this year. And so I would say for your families to just kind of draw names. And there's this app that my daughter had recommended. I can't think of the name of it. Naima might know something.
Drawnames.com.
Drawnames.com. That's another one. I think the other one I was trying to think of was different. But yeah, you can do that and draw names. Maybe you might have it categorized where the children can draw names, where they can like give gifts to each other, and then the adults can give gifts. And so, or you may have different organizations that you're a part of. And I know, like, even for us with Sisters United, that's something that we do. Um, and so just get, and then maybe helping to give gift giving ideas as far as, you know, what their interest is, what they like, just kind of like, you know, if you have this, you know, thing, and then you can do it where it's a surprise. They don't have to necessarily know where their gift, who their gift is going to be coming from. So that's always creating that suspense is a good thing too. Um, so just creating a system, putting something in place where, you know, I would say starting with family first, you know. I know some families as parents, we try to like, you know, just get something for everybody. But if you have a large family, you can't necessarily buy a gift for everybody. Just, you know, do that swap exchange and get your name. And like I said, it could be a secret. And that way, you know, it's even more of a surprise, creating that suspense. So, and then for some of the gifts, I would say you can create. Earlier we kind of talked about doing crafts and stuff like that, especially like for younger kids, you know, like I even know for my 7-year-old, he might say, oh, I don't have the money to buy such and such. He actually does, he just doesn't know it. He's got a little savings. But you can create, you know, help them to create different things. And so if it's a surprise for one parent, not the other, maybe you can like do it where they don't see it and, you know, surprise them in the end. So that's a really good idea. So handmade personal gifts. This is always something special, especially when we get it from our little ones, you know. So I would encourage that.
Yeah. And so Another thing that I like to do when my children were smaller, I would, of course, it's the end of Ramadan. So who doesn't want to see or have a whole bunch of food? So what I would do is I always buy a bag, put tons and tons of snacks inside the bags, along with a couple of goodies in terms of like gifts as well. But so my children are of course in their 20s now, and last Eid, so two of my sons don't live with me, but two of them do. And so I have my younger sons with me, and my older two are living in separate. And I actually had to mail my oldest son his, because he was like, am I still getting my bag? What's going on, right? Because he wants to make sure he gets his bag, gets all his snacks and his gifts. And then something else that I started to do was to start early. So I already have all of their Eid gifts just because something went on sale and I just started buying things. And so I think that that's important. So people will, when it comes to Eid, you know when it is, right? And it's really all about preparation. So sometimes we get to the point where we say, oh, I don't have the money for it, but you probably did. You just didn't plan right. And so just thinking about, again, when things go on sale, if you know that they want a particular thing, maybe even if it's a bigger gift, it's okay if you spend 6 months to pay for it. Or, if there was a program where you can put it on layaway, I recommend that, so that, again, we want to make sure that Eid is a special day for the children and for the adults. Like, just because we're adults doesn't mean that we don't want to get gifts, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I want to get that massage neck thing, right? Right. Hint, hint. And I also want to get that spa room that blows up and turns into a spa. Hint, hint. And just in case we're all giving our little gift list here. So a couple of things, but just making sure that we let people know ahead of time. And then also, what you can't get for the first Eid, you have at least 2 months to still get your ducks in order for the second Eid, because if you don't come through on the first one, you definitely need to come through on the second one, because that is the greater Eid, even though we don't celebrate.
Exactly.
We want to make
Right.
sure that the greater Eid, people have the greater gifts. So even if you do small gifts this time, it's okay. And then turn it all the way up for Eid al Adha. So yeah, that's my tip.
Naima, when you talk about toys and and creating things for your kids and doing the bags and stuff, I was also thinking about like outside of our children. We talked about, and so we have a lot of different things, even at the masjid, or different people may do it at their iftars, where you can bring toys, buy some extra toys so that we can be able to give to other children or other people as well.
Yeah, that too. And then we
Yeah.
love to give gifts to our friends.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing too about gifts, you can make gifts as well. A lot of times people appreciate the effort that you put into making something for them. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be like super, super duper creative. Like one of the things that my mom does is not just for Eve, but she just does it as a hobby kind of thing, is she makes bracelets, right? You can get the little stuff from yeah, like here's a nice bracelet, right?
Yeah.
And you can get that kind of stuff from like Hobby Lobby, from Michael's, that kind that the jewelry section where you can kind of make it, and they're real, simple to make. But something like that you can give someone, that you might give your friends, is not something that's expensive. You might want to give all your daughters that, or your nieces or your granddaughters or something like that. So that's something special. It's something special that's from you. Nobody else is going to have that same thing because you created it yourself. And then they have these little bags too. I don't know if y'all can see this little bag,
Yes,
but
so
these little gift
cute.
bags you can kind of put the bracelets that you made in, from, that just gives it that extra little touch, and a bag like this, you're not necessarily going to throw it away like you would a regular gift bag or something like that. You might reuse it, in your bathroom, or keep a little pulpitry, the pulpery that you can put in there
Mhm.
to smell good and little stuff like that. So that's something else that you can keep in mind. And another thing too that I like to do is I like to travel. So you can also give your family the gift of going somewhere, whether it's to the beach or, you can go to the mountains or just going somewhere special. Sometimes it's not about a tangible gift. Sometimes it's about an experience, especially once they start to get a little old, older. Um, when
Mhm.
it's kind of challenging to think about what to give them and all this other kind of stuff. Sometimes the gift of an experience of going on a little short vacation or whatever, that's something to give someone as well, in terms of a gift. So
And
those are
I
my
love that idea.
give yourself a gift.
yes, yes,
Okay, because that's what we gonna do. Give ourselves
Right.
a gift and rock the crown somewhere else.
right, exactly.
You can't be doing this too much.
I know. I'm like, this is about to go all the way down.
All right. Well, this was really an awesome session. We hope that you guys have definitely benefited from our show today. Talking about home decor, just great food for Eid, giving fashion tips, and of course, gift giving. The gift of giving is like awesome. Makes you feel real good when you start giving to other people too. So,
Hmm.
so we hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes. All of that good stuff. And for all of the Muslims celebrating Eid, this is early Eid Mubarak.
Yes, Eid Mubarak.
So we'll
Yeah.
see you all next time. And just in case you all don't know, this is the final episode of season 3. So we want to give a big, big shout out to our entire Crown Nation. Thank you so, so much for joining us this particular season. And remembering that next season, we have a couple of great things that you all are going to be looking out for and wanting to see. So again, we always want to be on task and on point, talking about love, family, community, business, fashion, mental health, as well as nutrition and exercise. So for next season, be looking out for those turned up topics. So again, Crown Nation, we appreciate you. Peace, love. Share this with your friends and family so that for season 4 we can double our numbers. But we'll see you again next year or next year, next season, not
Next season this year.
next
Just in
season,
a little while.
still this year, just a little while later. All right, Crown Nation. We'll see you all.
Peace
Peace.
and love.